name is Matt Davis with Broken Arrow Game Recovery. So I wanted to come with you with some episodes on tracking tips and tricks to help you recover your deer with or without a dog. There's a ton of different factors that are going to help with this. These are just some of the main ones once you release that arrow. Welcome to episode 1 of Tracking Tips with Broken Arrow Game Recovery. So first and foremost, I want to say some of the important things are know your tracker. I cannot emphasize this enough. Having a tracker on speed dial or having a relationship with a tracker is imperative, regardless if you're going to need it or not. I have multiple people that reach out to me during the off season or even during the season that'll say, hey, I don't need you right now, but if I do you cover my area? What do you charge? And are you available if I have questions? Of course I am for all of that, and I'll answer them questions for any of my listeners, followers, regardless of location. But having that resource on speed dial that's not going to charge you anything and just give you free advice is such an important asset to the hunting community. So if you don't know who your local tracker is, look them up. Here in Missouri, we have the Missouri Blood Trackers Association. You can go to their Facebook page, check out the map. There's a pin for every tracker in the state that tells you their skill level and whatnot, and their contact information. Reach out to them if you need to, and if you want to get a hold of them as a tracker and be able to pick their brain a little bit. So in today's episode, I want to touch on what to do when that arrow releases. First things first, watch and listen. That arrow lets go. We're watching where the deer went, what the reaction was, and we're going to listen. Is he running as far as we think he is? Did we hear him crash? Do we hear nothing? That's all important pieces of the investigation that'll help you recover a deer. So let's say the arrow's released, you watch him run away, you were listening, you did not hear him crash. Next thing you want to do, calm down. Adrenaline's pumping, you shot whether it be your first buck, first doe, or your 100th doe, it's still an adrenaline rush for many people. So calm down, okay? Don't get out of the stand right away. Don't call your buddy on speakerphone, tell him you just smoked the giant you've been after. All of this can easily spook a deer that bedded within 100 yards if the shot wasn't ideal. So we've calmed down, okay? We have our composure. Still don't get out of the stand yet. Still don't go look for anything. We want to wait. Time is our friend when we shoot deer. A dead deer goes nowhere. A live deer can run a very, very long way. And I'm sure you've seen many of the stories from trackers where we've tracked deer a mile or 2 miles or 4 miles because they were bumped for whatever reason. So hang tight. Don't push that deer. Just wait. If you got to go back to the truck and wait for 30 minutes or an hour before you go look for your arrow, that's fine. I encourage you to do so as long as you're not walking out the same way the deer ran. Once we've calmed down and we've waited, let's go investigate the initial hit site. Okay, let's see what's out there and see if it matches where we think we hit the deer. If we think we smoked that deer and hit him in the boiler room or double lunged him, then the sign at the hit site should really reflect that. The arrow should reflect that, right? So if you double lung this deer, we're going to see, very oxygenated blood, bright blood, really immediately, and that deer's likely not going to go very far. So if you think you double lunged him, you get out there and you see all that light colored pink blood, maybe some bubbles in it, then yeah, hey, if we've waited an hour, let's go ahead and pursue that thing. If you think you smoked him and you go out there and the arrow's gritty, or there's dark blood, or it just doesn't match where you think you hit him, then let's step back and really assess the situation to a T. If we need to call our tracker at that point and say, hey, I'm going to send you some pictures over, this is the sign I got, this was the deer's reaction, he kind of walked away, but I thought I double lunged him. This is all information that a tracker and a seasoned tracker is going to ask you to be able to kind of put together where you really hit. If the sign doesn't match, don't immediately go after this thing. If it looks like you hit far back, then we want to defer to wait times. If I have someone call me and they say, hey, shot this thing, the arrow looks a little gritty, I'm going to say, back out of there, don't even go look for 12 to 24 hours. okay, you likely hit far back. We need to give this deer a lot of time to expire. Do not go in there and instantly try to pick up on the track, because you will kick that deer up if it's a far back shot. If you kick them up, the chances of recovery dramatically drop. Do not go in and call 5 of your buddies and they're like, oh yeah, you know, you smoked this thing, it there looks a little gritty, but you'll be fine, he's dead, and go in there and just grid search the whole timber. With the conditions as dry as they are right now, that makes it extremely difficult for a tracking team to do their job efficiently. Every time you guys track and grid search and step on that interdigital scent, that pheromone that the deer gives off, or even step on a speck of blood, every time you take a step after that, you're spreading that scent. So to a dog, it looks like the deer has been everywhere. Very difficult to run a clean line off of that. And it really accounts for a lot of extra miles by a tracking team each year. So stay away from that. Now, if you don't plan on having a tracker, and know you're not going to have a tracker essentially, or not one's available, then that's your last resource if you've lost blood. I respect that a million times over. The big thing is treat the track like a murder scene, essentially. Try not to step on anything, try not to walk right on top of the blood trail. Really try to preserve that data the best you can, because it's going to really help the tracking team out there if you have them come out. So that's a few quick tips from Broken Arrow Game Recovery. Have your tracker info, watch and listen, calm your nerves, wait after the shot, investigate, does the sign match, and then refrain from grid searching at, only as a last resort, really. If you guys do all of this stuff, you could almost instantly see recovery percentages go up by not pushing deer, by not destroying a track, by waiting. All of that good stuff helps you guys recover deer a lot of times without having a dog out there, which is fantastic. If you guys have any questions or comments, again, this is episode 1. Questions, comments, throw them in the comment section, and I'll address them in episodes down the road. Thank you.